Now let us have an understanding of yoga module for the stress induced disorders, as well as I will demonstrate some of the practices on the same. Before knowing about the yoga practices for the stress induced disorders, it is important to understand the importance of the practice, how to practice. It is always necessary to practice all the yoga practices under the guidance of competent yoga teacher. In order to maintain the safety and to prevent any sort of injuries, it is very essential to practice with the proper guidance. So, in these practice, we are having 4 important modules. One is healthy lifestyle, second is the asana practice, third is the pranayama practice, and the fourth is the meditation and relaxation techniques. Healthy lifestyle is practiced using the practice of yama and niyama in the yoga practices. There are 5 yamas like ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, and there are 5 niyamas, shaucha, santosha, tapas, swadhyaya and ishvara pranidhana. So, the collective practice of yama niyama systematically influence our ahara, vihara, achara and vichara, means the discipline in the food habits. The healthy food habits are developed using the quantity of the food, the quality of the food and the state of the mind while eating the food. This constitutes the principle of healthy discipline on the ahara or the food, because it has a great impact on our state of mind. Second, the proper recreation like a vihara, the wakefulness, the sleep, they need to be balanced, and our social code of conduct, vichara and achara. Achara is a code of conduct, vichara is our thinking pattern. So, the mind should always cultivate the positive thoughts which inculcate to see the impact of pleasant condition. The mind should always be able to see the self acceptance, self actualization are very important practices which are resulting from the practice of yama. Yama harmonizes our behavior with our society. It is always necessary to find the harmony with the society, because as we are a social individual, social animal you can say, which requires to be in the harmony with the society. There is no progress in the life without the harmony. There is the essential condition of the harmony for the mind and body, for the self and the society. So, it is necessary to inculcate the practice of yama and niyama. They help in developing our willpower, they help in enhancing our intellect, they also contribute to improve the emotional stability. Particularly the niyamas, tapas, swadhyaya, ishvara, pranidhana, which are also practiced as kriya yoga in the yoga curriculum, they help to develop our harmony in a holistic view. When we see the health and healthy lifestyle, it takes care of 4 important dimensions. The holistic health we will be practiced in the yogic system. It is taking care of the physical, it is taking care of the mental, it is also taking care of the emotional as well as the social condition. So, the holistic view of yoga practice is quite important to understand the preparation for managing many of the conflicts which are the sources of the stress either within or outside, in terms of our environment, in terms of our society, or in terms of our relationship with respect to our professional conditions, family relationship or our own personal management. All the 3 dimensions, personal, social and professional aspects are taken care effectively by the practice of yama and niyama in a systematic and dedicated approach. After the effective inculcation of the yama niyama for a healthy lifestyle, we can look into the practice of the asana practices. There are numerous asanas, but for the consideration of the paucity of the time and to find a place in a daily routine, we can follow these 8 asanas. like Tadasana, Khatichakrasana, Vajrasana, Supta Vajrasana, Paschimottanasana, Janu Sirshasana, Sarvangasana and the Matsyasana. The list of these asanas, you can also add or you can also delete some of these asanas and you can make the suitable practices according to your convenience. There are 4 important elements we need to remember about the asana practice. When we practice the asana, there must be the synchronization of all the 4 points: Shvasa, Vinyasa, Sthiti, Drishti. Shvasa is the practice of rhythmic breathing, both inhalation and exhalation. Vinyasa is the systematic movement of the breath and that of the body movements. There must be the fine synchronization between the moving of the body parts in each asana and then the breathing. The third is the Drishti, which is gazing point. There are 9 gazing points traditionally, but these practices will help to stabilize the mind. In turn, the body will be stabilized in particular posture. Lastly, the Sthiti, which is the resultant period of the asana. At least 5 breathings, like 10, 15, 20 seconds, one can stay in the asana to reap the good benefits of the asanas. Classically, Patanjali Maharshi says the benefit of asana like Tato Dvandva Anabhigataha. The dualities of the mind and body are relieved by the practice. And even in Brahma Sutra, we find the importance of asana like Asinaha Sambhavat. On account of sitting, there is a possibility of the meditation. The asana practice is one of the best module in yoga to harmonize our system, to develop the homeostasis, like the psychophysiological, neuromuscular and glandular mechanisms are held together. The functional ability of the body and mind is enhanced by keeping a steady condition. So this is one of the wonderful contribution by the asana. Even in the Hatha Yoga, the benefit of asana was explained by Swami Swatmarama. Kuryat tadasanam stairyam arogyam cha angalagavatvam. By the practice of this asana, there is health of the mind and body, arogya will be there, there is a steadiness and as well as there is a feeling of well-being, lightness. The systematic practice of all these asanas, which combine the forward bending practices, backward bending practices, inverted practices, standing postures, sitting postures, with a systematic selection of the practices and sequencing of the practices, we can make use of the best advantages of the asanas. After the practice of asana, let us have an important module in yoga, that is pranayama. Pranayama is one of the best practice and everyone can try this practice in any situation. It can be a helpful practice. There are 3 important pranayama practice which we can focus to include in our practical session. One is the Ujjayi pranayama, second is the Anuloma Viloma, third is the Brahmari pranayama. They are practiced without any limitation in any particular given condition, which requires a short amount of time on a daily basis for the practice of these 3 pranayamas. I will summarize the impact of these pranayama practices. The Ujjayi pranayama is one of the conducive pranayama for developing the peace of mind. Classically, the definition says that dhatu gata dosha vinashanam. It helps to overcome the imbalances of the tissues which are contributing for the proper development of the health. Up to that deep level, there is a great impact of the Ujjayi pranayama. Ujjayi pranayama tranquilize the mind. It is helpful in developing the improvement of the sleep quality. People suffering from insomnia can find very useful about this Ujjayi technique. It's also one of the effective technique in the stress management in a collective way. Second is the Anuloma Viloma. The Prana Shakti and the Chitta Shakti, the force of sympathetic and parasympathetic system always needs to be in the fine balance. The alternative nostril breathing helps to bring the harmony between the Ida and Pingala, the 2 forces of our energy system, either the solar or the lunar or the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So, in this it is purifying the nadis, it is improving various physiological conditions like healthy digestion, enhancing the lung capacity, improving the purification of our mind and body with an effective practice of the Anuloma Viloma. So, I will show these three practices. In the first one, Ujjayi, sit comfortably in any sitting posture, either the Vajrasana or Siddhasana or Swastikasana, and partially closing the epiglottis. The technique is partially closing the epiglottis, or inhaling and exhaling systematically. I will show one round of the practice. It can be practiced for about 21 rounds depending on the availability of the time. Try to remember to keep the eyes closed whenever you practice the pranayamas. Like this, there is a clear hissing sound at the throat, and one should concentrate on the sound at the root of the throat. This is on the Ujjayi pranayama. The second pranayama practice is on Anuloma Viloma. I will show this practice. Take this mudra called as Nasika mudra. The thumb operates on the right nostril to close and open, the last two fingers on the left nostril. Keep the body in the relaxed condition, the head, trunk, neck to be straight. Close the eyes. Inhale through the left nostril. After completing the inhalation, close it and exhale through the right nostril. Then again inhale from the same right nostril. Close the right, exhale through the left nostril. This is one round of the practice. Please remember 4 important points with respect to this practice. Do not give the jerks or do not exert the force, and maintain the awareness of the breath all the time, and maintain the rhythm of the breathing, as well as become aware of the exhalation. The time of exhalation should be more than the time of the inhalation. Gradually it will be up to 1:2 ratio, 1 for inhalation and 2 for exhalation. So, this is about the technique of Anuloma Viloma. The third technique is on the Brahmari. There is a mudra called as Shanmukhi mudra. The 6 faces are the 6 openings are being closed, and there is a humming sound like a male bee which resonates in our mind. That resonance helps to develop the vasodilation in our system, which is very helpful for effective stress management. With the help of the thumbs, close the pinnae of the ears, and these 2 fingers will close the eyes and the nose, both the nostrils, and lastly the lips. Relax the mind and body, physical and mental relaxation. Then inhale and start producing the humming sound. One more time. Observe the resonance for some time and then gradually externalize your awareness. So, this is the third practice. In the summary, the practice of Ujjayi, Anuloma Viloma and the Brahmari improves a lot of mental strength. They help to develop the calmness of our mind as well as prevent many of the stress induced difficulties. Now, let us look into the last part of this module, that is on the relaxation techniques, the meditation and relaxation techniques, yoga module on the relaxation as well as in the meditation. There is enormous amount of literature in scientific studies which shows that the practice of meditation and relaxation techniques influence on our mind and body. There is a holistic approach where we can see the impact of these techniques on physical health, mental health, emotional health and social health as well as in the spiritual dimension, which is like a ananda or the bliss. The observation which we can find from these studies are there is dominance of the parasympathetic nervous system. The moment you try to practice like the technique like Om chanting, this increases the length of exhalation. The moment you enhance the process of exhalation, gradually this exhalation shifts the dominant condition of the parasympathetic nervous system, which is having the motto of rest and repair. There is deep sense of harmony when we find the stable autonomic nervous system having the fine balance of sympathetic and parasympathetic activity through the techniques of meditation and relaxation techniques. There are two simple practices. One is the Om chanting, which is the chanting of the Om either in the loud level like Vachika, Upamshu in the lips level or Mansika in the mental level. Three ways can also be combined together depending upon the state of the mind while practicing this technique. Second is the Soham meditation, which is one of the best practice which syncs with our breathing. During inhalation and exhalation, the words like So, Hum are systematically synchronized with the breathing. Each breath makes the combination of these two words to ensure the harmony between the breathing and our mental chanting. I will show the practice of Om chanting. Sit in any comfortable posture, keeping the mind and body relaxed and eyes closed. Take a deep breath. The word Om comprises of A, U, Ma. A starts from the navel region, U in the chest region and Ma in the lips. The length of Ma will be longer, which is like 2/3 of the entire practice of the Om chanting. This induces a deep sense of resonance. This resonance is having the similar effect like that of the Brahmari, which helps in vasodilation, which helps in dominating the parasympathetic nervous system and calming the mind and the emotions in a systematic way. The next practice we can look into the practice of the relaxation techniques. There are asanas like Shavasana and Makarasana. They can help a lot to overcome the physical and mental fatigue. In the Atta-pradipika, it is said about the Shavasana, which is said like Chitta Vishranti Karakam Shanti Haram. It wards off the tiredness of the body as well as that of the mind. Lastly, we can take the deeper techniques like Yoga Nidra, deep relaxation technique, which has been originated from the teachings of Swami Satyananda Saraswati of the School of Yoga through the Nyasa tradition. We can use all these modules of asana, pranayama, meditation and relaxation techniques to effectively combat the stress as well as stress induced disorders. I thank the Department of Physical Education, Ramanujan College, for providing me this opportunity, particularly the Physical Director of the department, Dr. Shikha Sharma. Once again, I thank you all for patient listening, and I look forward for your effective practice to promote the positive health of the mind and body through the practice of yoga. Thank you.